This is a journey into a deep, dark rainforest and the jewel it hides. An invitation to step into a world drenched in rain, veiled in mist and alive with whispers. Here time slows, shadows breathe. The air hums with unseen life. What unfolds is not merely nature. It is something ancient, sentient, and alive in ways we can barely comprehend. This film follows photographer Rahul, drawn by a lifelong fascination for rainforests, their mystery, their silence, their hidden treasures. A 4,200-kilometer odyssey from Kullu to the Western Ghats, in search of a jewel. The perch, the anchor. It begins with a rain-drenched perch, glistening, moss-laden, motionless. Drops slide down its emerald surface, merging with the rhythm of falling rain. This humble perch is the stage upon which a secret life will soon unfold. The camera rises and the realm is revealed. The rainforest stretches endlessly, a vast emerald ocean cloaked in drifting clouds. This is the Western Ghats, an ancient mountain chain, pulsing with rain and mystery. From above, it seems eternal, a living, breathing labyrinth. The road from Pune to Tamhini Ghat snakes through this drenched wilderness, dark, winding, and glistening with rain. Mist curls around the bends, headlights cut through the downpour, and the hum of tires merges with the forest's low, unending murmur. Two men lead the way into the heart of the rainforest. One of them is Ramdas, a naturalist born and brought up in this wilderness. He knows the Tamhini Ghat like the back of his hand. Ramdas leads bird watching and jungle safari tours in this area. Both the men vanish in the dense undergrowth. The trails are slick, the air heavy with the scent of wet earth and moss. Every step deeper feels like a step into another realm, a place where the forest decides what you may see and what must remain hidden. In the gentle rain and morning mist, a covey of jungle bush quails forages quietly through the wet grass, their soft calls dissolving into the hush of the hillside.
वर त्याच रामदासने एक गोष्ट दाखवली.
ओके, आता हे बघ, हे जे तू बघितलंस, हे जे नांगे आहेत, मी त्याच्याबरोबर 2 नांग्यांच्या मागं त्याला लॉक केलंय. सो त्याला ते आता चावता येणार नाही. मला त्याने मुवमेंट जरी केली, चावायचा प्रयत्न केला, तर तो फक्त पुढंच हलवू शकतो तो. हे बघ असं. सो तो मला चावू शकत नाही आता. दुसरी गोष्ट, हे जी फिमेल मी तुला सांगितलं, मेल आणि फिमेल, तर हा मेल आहे. हे कसं ओळखायचं? त्याची ही जी सॅक आहे छोटी, हे बघ, ही छोटीशी सॅक आहे. फिमेलची जी असते त्याची ह्या पायांना लागून अशी अगदी मोठी असते इथून, ज्याच्यामध्ये ते अंडी बसावीत म्हणून. ठीक आहे. सो ह्याच्यावरून मेल फिमेल ओळखता येतं. तुम्हाला असं वरून बघून कधीच कळणार नाही मेल आहे का फिमेल आहे ते. ओके, ठीक आहे, तिला सोडून देऊ आपण आता.
As the rain intensifies, life awakens. The forest reveals itself in fragments, glimpses of movement, moments of wonder. The camera catches a Malabar flying squirrel atop a canopy. And when darkness falls, the forest glows again. Fireflies ignite the darkness, their tiny lights flickering like spirits of the rain. In this eternal cycle of wet and wild, the rainforest breathes, revealing just enough to those who observe and listen closely. A fungoid frog glistens like a jewel born of rain. Nearby, a Deccan-banded gecko slips across the forest floor. A centipede walks through a drenched undergrowth, silent flash of copper and motion. From the depths of the foliage, the forest's voice deepens. An owl calls low and haunting, as if speaking to the night itself. Coiled upon a branch, almost sculpted from rain and shadow, lies a bamboo pit viper, the sentinel of the Ghats, stillness personified. Raindrops cling to its emerald scales, each glinting faintly in the dim light. It waits, unblinking, eternal, a quiet reminder that beauty in the wild is often laced with peril. The forest breathes around it, reverent and hushed. The deeper you go, the louder the heartbeat of the rainforest becomes. Streams weave through ferns and roots. These are the veins of this living world, feeding, cleansing, sustaining. Their sound is hypnotic, or like a song without beginning or end. From the folds of ancient rock, the waterfalls of Tamhini Ghat tumble and breathe, white ribbons cascading through veils of rain and green. Here, water does not fall, it descends like prayer. Drops weave hymns through stone and moss, the forest answering with a sigh that belongs to another world. Mist drapes the valley like an old secret. The air is cool, fragrant, alive with the scent of rain. The sound is both thunder and lullaby, soothing, healing, timeless. It seeps into skin and bone until there is no line between the rain and the soul. Around these falls, life stirs in quiet celebration. These waterfalls feed the hidden rivulets. The water carries stories of cloud and mountain, of wind that traveled across oceans to arrive here. To stand before a Tamhini waterfall is to feel the rainforest breathe. To watch it is to sense the pulse of something vast and forgiving. Water remembers the stones it touched, the trees it fed, the cries of birds that vanished into cloud. In Tamhini, water is not just motion, it is memory, it is mercy. It is magic. This is the pulse of the rainforest, the whisper that never fades, the hymn that heals without words. The waterfalls of Tamhini, where the earth dreams in water and the rainforest finds its voice. This is prime kingfisher country, wet, green, and alive. The trees are thick with moss, the trails carpeted with ferns, and the air hums with the sound of unseen wings. Somewhere within this labyrinth lies the secret, a tunnel carved into a mud wall above a gushing whitewater stream, the hidden home of the Oriental Dwarf Kingfisher, the jewel of the rainforest, the jewel of Konkan, the jewel of Western Ghats, the most prized resident of Tamhini Ghat. But words fall short before this miracle of color. A bird so small it can perch upon your palm, yet dazzling enough to hold the forest light within its feathers. The Oriental Dwarf Kingfisher, a living gemstone. Its crown glows in fuchsia red colors. Its wings shimmer with indigo and sapphire. Its throat gleams golden yellow, and its tail burns with the fire of a setting sun. In the dull green silence of the monsoon forest, it appears like a spark of divine mischief, a burst of life, beauty, and grace, compressed into a heartbeat of flight. For those who seek it, the reward is not merely a sighting, but an awakening, a reminder that the wild still keeps its secrets and reveals them only to those who wait, watch, and listen. It is not just a bird. It is a whisper of the rainforest, a flicker of sunlight in the storm, a fleeting vision of perfection that vanishes as suddenly as it appears. Minutes pass like hours. Then, a flash. A streak of impossible color cuts through the rain. Flame orange, sapphire blue, violet purple, and gold. It lands for just a moment upon the same rain-drenched perch. The photographers inside the hide fall silent, breath suspended. Every sighting is sublime, a moment poised between dream and reality. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the kingfisher enters into its secret tunnel, where the female and her chicks await their meal. A frog, a crab, an insect, gathered with astonishing precision from the roaring stream below. This ritual repeats once in 20 minutes, and each time, it feels like witnessing a miracle. The rainforest never rests. For 3 days it was lashed by relentless rain during Rahul's trip. Silver threads falling endlessly through a world drowned in green. The air was heavy with mist, the streams swollen and the forest alive with whispers. Through this downpour, Rahul's camera stayed fixed on a tiny miracle, the male Oriental Dwarf Kingfisher. From dawn till dusk, he labored on. 3, sometimes 4 dives in an hour, cutting through the rain, vanishing into white water, and emerging with a crab, a toad, a glistening insect. Every flight led him back to a mud tunnel hidden along a rain-slick stream where his family waited in darkness. Inside, the female and the chicks, hungry, unseen. Outside, a father driven by instinct and care. No storm could slow him. Hour after hour, wings beat against the wind, soaked, trembling, yet steadfast. In that small body burned a force larger than the forest itself. Devotion that asked for nothing. Love that never tired. Amidst the roar of rain and the murmurs of the wild, the jewel of the rainforest shone not in silence, but in purpose. In the heart of the storm, the kingfisher kept his promise. For Rahul, the dream is fulfilled. The journey, the patience, the silence, all converge in this moment of color, fragile and fleeting as a heartbeat. As he leaves the forest, the whispers linger, the murmuring streams, the rustle of leaves, the unseen life moving through the shadows. He is reminded that the true treasures of the Western Ghats are not just its jewels, but the living harmony that sustains them. The Western Ghats remain one of the oldest, richest ecosystems on Earth, a sanctuary of rain and green, of silence and song. Here life endures in countless forms, seen and unseen, a living symphony that has played for millions of years. But what are the whispers of a rainforest? They are not the voices you hear. They are voices you feel. The hush of rain slipping through leaves, the sigh of wind against moss and fern, the quiet drip of water on stone, the soft rustle of leaves in the dark, the pulse of life that moves unseen beneath a green canopy. They are reminders that the world still holds mystery, that silence too can speak, and that beauty does not ask to be found. It simply exists, waiting for those who come with patience, humility, and wonder. As Rahul's journey comes to an end, the whispers remain, echoing through the forest, through memory, through time itself. And in those whispers lies a truth, that the rainforest does not reveal itself to those who merely look, but to those who listen. May these whispers endure for all times, for all generations to come.